Willkommen wieder. Es ist soweit. Ich hab's geschafft. Ich habe ordentlich gefarmt und habe nun alle Supports der Löwen soweit freigeschaltet, dass wir uns den Rest gar ansehen können. Und das heißt, wir können dann im Anschluss natürlich auch weitermachen und das Ganze allmählich zum Abschluss bringen. Ganz schön verrückt, wie viel Zeit das insgesamt gekostet hat, aber es ist jetzt zumindest an der Zeit, dass wir uns widmen können und ich habe mittlerweile auch meine erste Waffe mit über 500 Damage einfach, richtig brutal. Na gut, ich würde sagen, genau, wir machen ja nur die Löwen jetzt, ne? Und der Rest, der kann irgendwann anders noch kommen. Deswegen würde ich jetzt einfach hier anfangen und mache das einfach mal in der Reihenfolge dann nach oben durch. Da bin ich mal gespannt. Ich freue mich total. Schauen wir uns die Supports einfach mal der Reihe nach an. Und ich würde sagen, let's go.
Finished giving your report?
Yes. I hope you were not waiting too long. Did you need me for something?
Need is a strong word. I just wanted to commend you. I heard that last fight was brutal, but you made it out alive.
None of us expected it to evolve into such an arduous battle. We were only supposed to be dealing with some bandits.
So you weren't injured?
I'm fine. So is everyone else in the unit, thankfully. Though even in the darkest moments, I never lost hope. All thanks to this.
My brother's spur. You're telling me that hunk of steel helped you?
Perhaps not in a practical sense, but it certainly bolstered my spirits. This spur symbolizes Glenn's pride and sense of duty, things he fought for to his dying breath. I couldn't very well give up while I carried something with that much meaning. It gave me the courage to keep fighting.
I don't get it. It's all well and good to remember the dead, but sentimentality will get you killed. All the tears in the world couldn't bring them back after all.
You have always viewed the world in such stark terms. It might even be one of your strengths. But one day, you will learn that emotions and sentimentality are also a strength, not a curse.
So the dead can help the living? Interesting idea.
Can we continue this later? I think I have earned a good night's sleep.
Ingrid, wait. Will you do something for me?
I'm listening.
Go visit my brother. This war shows no signs of stopping, which means you have plenty of battles ahead of you. And if you're so certain the dead can help the living, it couldn't hurt to offer him some flowers.
You want me to go to Glenn's? I mean, of course. But you should join me, and perhaps His Majesty as well. And all of our other friends, too.
Are you planning to host an entire banquet at his gravestone?
That was not my original intention, but now that you mention it, a festive meal might be nice. We could all use a little relaxation, and Glenn always preferred a joyous atmosphere to a somber one.
Fine, just don't die before then, okay? Anyway, I'm keeping you. Go get something to eat and get some rest.
I will do just that. Thank you, Felix.
Das war doch ein guter Anfang. Ein Bankett zu Ehren des verstorbenen Glenn. Warum auch nicht, mit etwas Fröhlichem das Ganze abschließen. Finde ich eigentlich ganz gut. Keine schlechte Idee. Ich glaube, sie hat nur noch den Mercy-Support. Ja, dann ist sie auch schon durch. Wahnsinn. Hat Ingrid, na doch, sie hat schon viel, aber halt fast nur bei den Löwen. Insofern, na gut, machen wir weiter. Ingrid und Mercy.
If you fall, pick yourself back up. An enemy won't wait for you to regain your footing.
Yes, Lady Ingrid.
We've been at this for a while now. Let's take a break.
Hello, all. You seem to be doing fine work with your training today. I brought snacks, so please eat up and restore your energy.
Thank you, Lady Mercedes. I'll go tell the others at once.
That would be wonderful. Oh, and I baked plenty, so there's no need to rush. Dig in, Ingrid. We must remember to treat ourselves once in a while, after all.
Thank you. Oh, these are delicious! Of course, I should have expected no less from you. I have been struggling every day for a way to show these girls my appreciation, yet have come up with nothing. But then you waltz in here and pull it off in one fell swoop. Just look how happy you've made them.
You give me too much credit. Children love anyone who brings them sweets.
Still, they are nothing more than bundles of nerves around me. I'm sure they'd feel at ease if only I was as kind and considerate as you.
Oh, I think you're much more important to them than I. All I do is bring snacks on occasion. You take the time to train them every day without fail. I know the only reason you're so strict is so they're ready for what awaits them on the battlefield. Your lessons are their own form of kindness. I'm certain they recognize that.
You have more confidence than I do.
Then let me ask you a question. Do you hate your older brothers?
What? No, how could I? I mean, naturally, there were times where I resented how hard they were on me, but it was never hate. They were simply looking out for me. I'm proud to call them my brothers.
You see? There are many ways to be kind and considerate.
Huh. I think I understand what you're driving at now.
There's no need to force yourself to be someone you're not. Just be yourself. You're already one of the kindest people I know.
But I'm terrible at encouraging people the way you do.
I don't think that's true, but if it really concerns you, you could try acting more like me.
Say, that's actually not a bad idea. In that case, let me dish out the same treatment you gave me the other day. Prepare yourself, Mercedes. It's time for me to show my affection.
Goodness, where could this possibly be going?
Nettes kleines Ende für diesen Support. Naja, man braucht alles, ha? Man muss schon diszipliniert auftreten und natürlich diese Rekruten in die richtige Richtung lenken. Kann nicht alles komplett harmlos sein, gibt's regelmäßig Kekse. Am laufenden Band ist vielleicht auch nicht das Wahre. Aber hin und wieder mal ein bisschen Abwechslung ist wahrscheinlich ideal. Okay, machen wir weiter mit Annette, würde ich sagen. Annette, Ash, let's go.
Hey, Ash, listen to this.
What's got you so excited, Annette?
Remember Odette, the flower peddler we taught how to read and write? Well, apparently, the School of Sorcery thought she had talent, and they accepted her as a student.
Wow, that's impressive. The School of Sorcery isn't easy to get into.
Right? I'm so glad we took the time to teach everyone.
It's strange to think that someone I helped is going to study under those teachers. Strange, but also great.
Speaking of the teachers, there's something I need to tell you. I had another reason for wanting to help you instruct the villagers.
Oh? What's that?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher at the School of Sorcery. It didn't even have to be that school necessarily. I just wanted to make a living as an instructor somewhere. I told Dimitri about it once, but I really wanted to teach magic to kids who struggled with it. And when I started teaching some of the townspeople here with you, it was so much fun.
You did seem to be enjoying yourself.
I know, right? My favorite part was when someone would have that aha moment and their face would just light up. It really made all the time I'd spent studying feel worth it.
You're a great teacher, Annette. I think it's your calling, honestly. I've never seen anyone so patient with people when they're struggling to understand. If you ask me, you should become a full-fledged professor. I'd love to study under an instructor like you.
Oh gosh, you're making me blush. But if you really think that, then I'm gonna go for it. But that means I need to hit the books. Oh, and probably chat with some of the teachers at the School of Sorcery.
If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
No way, mister. You have your own dream to pursue. I mean, you want to become a world-renowned knight, right?
Well, sure. But you've helped me so much, I feel like I need to return the favor. Besides, you're a citizen of Faerghus, and it's a knight's job to help the people.
I love how focused you are on that dream. It's almost silly, because you're already the greatest knight I know. Okay, I'm off to borrow some books from the capital, but maybe I'll ask for your help after that. Oh, and if we ever get the chance, I'd love to visit Garreg Mach's library. If you wouldn't mind going with me, that is.
You can count on me.
Thanks. Just you watch, Ash. I'll be a real professor before you know it.
Schöne Vorstellung, muss ich sagen. Magistra Annetta. Warum eigentlich auch nicht? Passt bestimmt auch ganz gut. Ist bestimmt sehr beliebt, kann ich mir vorstellen. So, du hast auch... Ah ja, du hast auch noch den Noran-Support. Und Konstanz, die hat richtig, richtig viel. Machen wir doch mal mit Konstanz weiter, würde ich sagen.
Are you free at the moment, Annette? I was wondering if you might help me with something.
I sure am. What's up?
Well, I wish to conduct an experiment outside today, though naturally I'm a touch hesitant about it.
Because your mood changes outside, right?
Exactly. And though I'm deeply reluctant to experience that, one cannot make an omelet without throwing a few eggs against the wall.
Well, I think you're a genius regardless, so I'm happy to help. No time like the present, right? Let's do this.
Oh, please stop pulling me along. I haven't even told you what the experiment is yet. Oh dear. Oh dear. Are you certain you want to do this, Annette? I sincerely doubt any magic built upon my crude ideas could ever work.
Oh, it'll be fine. Let's get started.
Well, if you insist, I suppose we must begin this foolish experiment.
Hey, I forgot to ask. What is the experiment anyway?
Oh, just a completely useless spell meant to gather cats from the surrounding area.
Oh gosh, cute! What are you waiting for? Let's get started! The spell seemed to go off all right, but nothing happened.
I knew it. I'm an utter failure. My research papers should be gathered up and used to wipe mud from the hooves of swine. Perhaps this is fate's way of telling me magic is beyond my comprehension and I was a fool to ever try.
Look, moping about it won't help anything. So let's both take a deep breath and figure out what went wrong. Okay, I've got an idea. If we take the flower catalyst and use wind magic to spread the fragrance...
Oh look, it attracts insects. Quick, grab that cockroach before it scurries away. It's clearly a finer sorceress than I.
Ew, gross! But yeah, that didn't work at all. Maybe if we use this mineral instead?
Goodness, the reflective light has attracted the attention of birds.
And And they're really mad for some reason. Run, Constance, run!
Whew. I had intended that to be a brief exercise, but it proved to be quite the ordeal.
Sorry that all my tinkering just made things worse. But hey, I did notice one thing. When those insects and birds showed up, there sure were a lot of them.
True. Each attempt did seem to attract a single type of creature in unnaturally vast numbers. Does that indicate that the spell can indeed effectively summon a swarm of one specific species?
It would certainly explain why the flower attracted so many bugs. Ugh. And why the light of the mineral called down such a huge flock of birds.
Why, this is a magnificent discovery! I feel we're on the cusp of breaking new ground!
Maybe it didn't go as planned, but I guess this turned out to be a pretty big success, huh?
There's no time to waste, Annette! We must investigate the cause of this phenomenon at once!
Yeah! I bet you'll create something revolutionary!
Die magische Forschung der beiden, ha. Tiere beschwören. Warum eigentlich auch nicht? Das ist doch auch mal was. Ich kann mich nur an die Tiergeister immer aus Fates erinnern. Diese Schriftrollen. Fand ich auch immer ganz nett. Aber warum nicht mal direkt eine Kreatur beschwören, ha? Das fehlt noch irgendwie, ha? Schon. Also ich meine mal abgesehen von Phantomen so. Naja. Die sind da etwas auf der Spur jedenfalls. Ich finde es aber klasse, wie die Voice Actress von Constance immer diese Figur so gut spielen kann, also ihre zwiegespaltene Persönlichkeit, das kommt immer so gut rüber. Wirklich sehr gut, muss ich sagen. Immer wieder beeindruckend. So, machen wir weiter mit Lorenz hier, Annette Lorenz.
Ah, Annette, good day to you.
Hey, Lawrence. Did you need something?
Yes, there is something I simply had to tell you.
Please don't say you want to ask me out.
Perish the thought. I merely wanted to praise you for your diligence, as it has clearly been paying off.
Thanks, I guess. What's all this about?
I have borne witness to your magnificent exploits, both on and off the battlefield. Such achievements could only be possible through tireless effort. That kind of brilliance is impressive, no matter if you're a noble or a common lass of the lowest birth. Is something the matter? You look like a pigeon that's just been struck in the face with wind magic.
It just came out of the blue is all. I wasn't really expecting you to compliment me.
But I am wounded. Is receiving a compliment from me truly so shocking? I merely wanted to express my heartfelt admiration, not least of all because of the misunderstanding which has long stood between us. I thought it best to speak my mind before fate's fickle hand separates us yet again.
You are so odd sometimes.
And now you laugh at me. Might I inquire as to why? I see nothing odd about praising a dear colleague.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It just hit me that you're actually totally sincere about all this.
Had that not been apparent? How could I be anything less than sincere in my desire to mend our previously strained relationship?
Well, I'm glad you appreciate all of my efforts, Lawrence. I really am. Because when you called me a child back then, it felt like you were dismissing all the hard work it took to make it into the School of Sorcery. I think some part of me has wanted to win your approval ever since. So it feels great to finally have it happen. You're a better judge of character than I gave you credit for, Lawrence.
Naturally. It is a noble's sacred duty to stand above others and correctly evaluate their worth, after all.
Well then, as something of a noble myself, I guess I could stand to learn more about that from you.
That would be splendid! Well then, from one noble to another, perhaps you might join me for a meal so we might discuss issues of...
Let's not. I wouldn't want to spoil my newfound appreciation for you.
Is that so? How unfortunate. Perhaps some other...
Whoa, look at the time. I better get going. I need to do something with all this extra motivation.
Well, no matter. I need only follow her example and work tirelessly toward my goal. For I, Lawrence Hellman Gloucester, must aspire to nothing less.
Diese Lache zum Schluss musste natürlich noch sein. Oh Mann, ey. Typischer Lorenz-Moment einfach wieder. Der und seine adlige Herkunft, ich sag's euch, das ist ihm schon sehr wichtig, ja. Aber der lebt das ja auch wirklich aus. Schon ganz witzig. Das ist immer so dieses Problem. Lorenz ist den meisten erstmal total unsympathisch. Später merkt man, Moment mal, dass er... Der denkt ja wirklich so. Das ist nicht unbedingt arrogant oder so. Sondern, ja. Er sieht halt wirklich seine Rolle als Adliger darin, sich so zu verhalten. Und er bewirkt ja eigentlich auch gute Sachen, muss man sagen. Letztendlich macht er ja tolle Dinge. Machen wir weiter. Klassiker, Annette und Mercy.
What are you doing up so late, Mercy?
I was having trouble sleeping. You too, Annie?
Yup. I'm just so nervous about our battle tomorrow.
Perhaps we should chat for a while to ease our nerves.
That's a great idea. It reminds me of when we were students at the School of Sorcery in Verdiad.
When we shared a room and would stay up chattering until dawn?
Exactly. It feels like that was forever ago.
So much has happened in the meantime. We enrolled in the Officers' Academy, the war began.
But we've stuck together through it all, even after classes were suspended. Of course, I'm so clumsy I felt like I was always getting in people's way while we were there. I couldn't have gotten through all this without you by my side.
And I've relied on you just as much. In fact, it often feels like you're the one who's constantly coming to my aid lately. Remember when I got stuck in that bandit's trap? I thought I was done for, but you came to my rescue.
Well, I wasn't gonna leave you in a bandit trap. Although, I just ended up falling right in and getting wounded myself. I was so desperate to save you, I wasn't paying attention to what was around me. If not for you healing me, I don't know what would have happened.
Well, we worked together and made it back in one piece, so all's well that ends well.
You know, I think we've always been like this. I feel like I can overcome anything so long as I'm with you.
And I feel the same. I hope we will be friends forever.
Oh, for sure! We'll be best friends until we're a couple of wrinkled old grannies. There are so many things I want to do with you, and so many places I want to go. I don't care if we're strolling through Deirdre or just window shopping. Everything's better with you.
I would love to go shopping in the capital, and then later... Say, Annie, why don't we wait to talk about this until the war is over?
What? Why?
Because then we can each write down things we want to do as we think of them, and then show our list to each other afterward. Doesn't that sound fun?
That sounds very fun. We can even compete to see who has the longest list. I'm gonna scribble all my plans down as soon as I get back to my room so I don't forget.
But won't that keep you up longer?
Oh, right. My insomnia. You were so busy chatting I forgot all about it. Thanks, Mercy. I feel a lot better now.
My sentiments exactly. Good night, Annie. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, das war doch einfach mal der ultimative Wohlfühlsupport hier. Ja, ich meine, Annette und Mercy, das ist schon eine tolle Support-Reihe. Muss man sagen, echt fantastisch. Ach, Mercy, hat ihr es vorhin auch schon abgehakt? Ja, die müsste jetzt gerade abgehakt worden sein, dann okay. Klar, logisch. Stark, okay. Witzig, ihr seid jetzt gerade beide dabei, dass sie diesen Bonus haben. Wie passend. Okay, wir können mit Sylvain weitermachen. Sylvain Ash, Sylvain Ignaz, Sylvain Yuri. Einiges los bei Sylvain. Na gut, legen wir los. Sind ein paar interessantere Sachen dabei von den Konstellationen.
You have something to say, or do you just like staring at me?
Merely thinking about your brother, that's all. I only caught a glimpse of him at Aryan Road, but he was nothing like what the rumors suggested.
You mean the ones about the eldest son of a noble family falling from grace? Taking up a life of banditry and wanton destruction?
The very same. They say he was a foul knave who stole not to survive, but because he took such great pleasure from the act. Still, I suppose one shouldn't take such rumors at face value.
Actually, there's a fair amount of truth to what they say. At least there was, up until 2 years ago. Yet still, His Majesty thought it was wise to recruit him to our side, and somehow managed to do just that.
Yes, I hear he wooed your brother with the chance to demonstrate how the Crestless can still make something of themselves. His honeyed words drew him in, at which point he began to play the man's inferiority complex like a mandolin.
Seems like you're more cunning than I realized. You really have eyes and ears everywhere, huh?
You're one to talk of cunning, springing as you do from the loins of Margrave Gautier himself. I know you've been keeping tabs on my every move.
What?
In my line of work, one learns to pick up on hostile presences rather quickly. From the day we met, you've been waiting for me to take one wrong step so you can cut me down. I'd heard the heir of House Gautier was nothing more than a base philanderer, but it seems that rumor isn't completely true either. Just look at you, having the gall to call me out while you hide behind the murderous grin plastered on your face. I know you've killed without hesitation.
Hey, we've all made mistakes. There's no need to rehash the past. And what's this murderous grin you're talking about? What would that even look like?
The fact you aren't conscious of it makes you all the more dangerous. Unless that pained grimace just now was also part of your act. Regardless, that crest-bearing fool nickname you picked up seems woefully inappropriate for one of your caliber. It's clear you inherited your father's cunning, and then some.
I'm not sure whether to take that as a compliment or just start sobbing.
The former. There aren't many in Fodlan capable of winning my true respect. For my part, I'll watch where I step, lest I end up with one of your blades lodged in my back.
Scheint eine hohe Meinung von Markgraf Gautier zu haben, ha? Ja, und das war auch der C-Support erst. Wir haben also noch einen weiteren vor uns auch direkt. Na, das ist ja ganz spannend wiederum. Aber bizarre war das schon. Ich frage mich, ob er nur ein bisschen mit Sylvain gespielt hat. Das macht Yuri, glaube ich, auch manchmal ganz gerne. Na gut, sehen wir mal, was bei B rauskommt.
Alright, that should do it. Sorry for pulling you into this, Sylvain.
Hey, I'm the one who should be apologizing. I can't believe I didn't pick up on the fact we had spies in our midst.
Oh, I'm just especially attuned to sensing such people. What with my line of work and all. They seemed quite adept, save for the fact they were just as poor at hiding their hostility as you.
Or maybe you're just way too perceptive.
Merely years of practice, I assure you. Still, I was surprised to see how eagerly you set about clearing those spies from our midst. Never thought I'd meet someone who'd jump at an invitation to purge spies as readily as he would a lunch date with a pretty woman.
Well, time is of the essence with this kind of stuff, and Dimitri surely won't mind that we only let him know after the fact. We have to win this war, and nothing loses a war faster than a leaky ship.
Yet even superior intelligence can be overturned by brute force. Take Aryan Road, for example. I was so certain we had achieved total victory, and then...
Yeah, that was a hard-won battle. We'd never have made it without my brother and the Knights. Speaking of which, it's still a little weird to trust my back to a guy who was so recently trying to jam a sword into it.
I understand your qualms. In fact, I'm surprised you never hunted me down yourself to seek revenge for your brother's death.
It's all water under the bridge if you joining helps us win this war. I just didn't know if I could trust you at first.
And now? Have I proven worthy of that trust?
Certainly. Your perceptiveness really saved our tails this time. But don't forget that I'm sworn to protect this place. And you know exactly what'll happen if you decide to switch sides.
You're actually quite the loyalist beneath all that flippancy. I admire such sensibility, believe it or not. But you may rest easy. I have no intentions of betraying you. In fact, I look forward to a lasting friendship with the future Margrave.
I'd like that. And I kind of appreciate how you see right through me. Saves me the trouble of trying to beat around the bush, you know?
It sounds as if we forged a mutual respect. Perhaps I might even agree to go out with you sometime. So long as you don't use any more of your awful pickup lines from the first time we met. Oh, how did that one go again? Ah, yes. Hello there, my adorable little chickadee. Care to let this rooster into the hen house?
Look, I already apologized for mistaking you for a girl, so you can quit bringing it up now.
And give up such an embarrassing tidbit on the next Margrave Gautier? Never! Besides, I never asked you to apologize. You're not the first to make that error, nor will you be the last. And frankly, a date with you would likely prove a very interesting experience. There's no better way to secure one's future than by attaching oneself to a dashing Margrave-to-be, after all.
Whoa, you just put my chickadee line to shame. Is it weird that I'm kinda into it?
Take note, Sylvain. This is how it's done.
I think I'm at least starting to get how you've risen so far so fast. I'm definitely glad you're on our side. Anyway, here's to seeing where the future takes us.
Okay, alles klar. Erstmal sind sie beste Freunde und wer möchte, Leute, wer möchte, kann sie gleich noch shippen. Nebenbei. Easy peasy. Steilvorlage auf jeden Fall am Start. Crazy. Was ist denn hier los? Yuri-Supporter? Meine Güte. Der Typ ist schon speziell, muss man sagen. Aber irgendwie schon ziemlich unterhaltsam. Der ist auf jeden Fall ein Fuchs und irgendwie, ja... einfach sehr einzigartig. Der sticht schon sehr raus, finde ich immer. Wahnsinn. Okay, machen wir weiter mit Sylvain und Ignaz.
Hey, Ignaz. How goes the research?
I've actually learned a fair number of things about your painting. Based on the canvas and pigments, I've managed to narrow down the era when it was made. I believe it to be from roughly 200 years ago, around the time the Officers' Academy was founded at the monastery.
Wow, I'm impressed you can nail it down that specifically. I knew you'd come through for me.
Well, the vivid blue pigment of her clothes is very distinctive. It's a rare kind of Almyran paint made from crushed gemstones. And it only came to Fodlan 2 centuries ago, after Almyra invaded.
Which means the painting can't be any older than that, yeah?
Exactly. Oh, and the material used for the canvas is... Well, if I went into every detail, we'd be here all day. What about you, Sylvain? Did you learn anything? I heard you were trying to track down some books in the capital.
Yeah, I read up on the Saints. Turns out birds are definitely one of St. Macuel's things. But I also found a weird story about an archbishop from 2 centuries ago. I'm guessing her reign got cut short due to illness because I didn't recognize the name at all. Anyway, on the day she died, white birds apparently flocked to the monastery and started mourning.
If that took place 2 centuries ago, she might be the person in this painting.
Yeah, it all seems too connected to be a coincidence.
Still, her clothes seem rather plain for an archbishop of the time.
Yeah, I wonder why. They were usually into fancy robes and big hats and all that.
Maybe it's more of a symbolic representation than an actual portrait. It could be designed to show how she was humble and supportive of the poor and downtrodden. Or perhaps she just wanted to be represented without all the trappings of her office. Of course, I'm just guessing here. I have no actual proof of anything.
Hey, I'm spitballing too. I mean, I don't even know for sure that she was an archbishop. Still, is it just me or does she look a lot like Lady Rhea?
Well, yes, I suppose she does. But that has to be a coincidence, right? The position of archbishop isn't hereditary, and I doubt they could be related in any way.
Yeah, you're right. Probably just the overall ambiance that makes them seem similar. Anyway, who knew I'd find something like this hiding in my house? Pretty crazy, huh? I'm really glad I showed you. Not knowing would have probably bugged me for the rest of my life otherwise.
No, thank you. I'm truly glad to have come across this piece. Both because I got to know a stunning work of art and because I learned more about you in the process. You're much easier to talk to than I imagined, and quite a bit more interesting as well.
Glad we could clear up that little misunderstanding, because I'm all about making new friends.
I feel just the same.
Ja, Sylvain macht einfach ganz viele neue Freunde hier, holt er sich. Super. Fantastisch. Ja gut, ich meine, mit der Erzbischöfin, das sollte eh völlig klar sein, das ist absolut logisch. Die können das vielleicht jetzt nicht nachvollziehen, aber wir als Spieler wissen das natürlich, was es damit auf sich haben kann. Netter Support. Das Bild haben sie jetzt nicht mehr gezeigt bei der B-Option hier, aber na gut. Naja, Sylvain und Ash. Dann ist auch Sylvain komplett fertig.
So, by stationing themselves in the bog, they were able to slow the advance of the enemy horses.
Exactly. But Lug's army was prepared in other ways too. They dug pitfalls, set up anti-cavalry palisades, and more. Laying all that groundwork is what led them to victory.
It's strange how the stories of King Lug don't go into much detail about him. But once you dig a bit, you realize he was a really talented tactician. I feel like I see him in a whole new light now. Say, do you think we could use this strategy in an upcoming battle? I know we can't do the exact same thing, but in that geography book you recommended to me before...
Where have you been hiding this talent? You're absorbing everything I teach you like a sponge. I can see why Lord Lonato had such faith in you.
Oh, it's not that. You're just a really good teacher.
Even taking that to be true, you're clearly an exceptional student. I'm actually sort of jealous that Dimitri gets a great knight like you by his side. I'd love to find some reason to steal you away to my territory after the war.
Don't joke like that, Sylvain. I serve His Majesty alone.
Ooh, shut down. But yeah, I get it. Still, are you really gonna devote your entire life to being a royal knight? To live and die in Ferdiad?
That was my initial idea. But I had a talk with His Majesty recently that made me reconsider. He asked if I wanted to succeed Lonato and take over Castle Gaspar after the war.
Castle Gaspar, huh? That makes sense. Adopted or not, you are Lord Lonato's heir.
I doubt the townspeople will be very accepting of me after I allowed him to die. But I'm still the only one capable of taking on the job. Or at least that's how I like to think of it.
Sounds like a huge responsibility, all right. Definitely can't ask you to come to House Gautier in that case.
That land meant everything to Lonato, and I would do anything to protect it. I want to help other people the same way he helped me. And I think I'm finally strong enough to do that now.
I should have expected as much. But hey, if that's what you want to do, I've got your back. A little education can be handy for a night, but castle lords need to learn everything they can get their hands on. So let me know if you ever need old Teach to fill your little head full of info, and I'll come running. Sheesh, listen to me. I think your serious nature is contagious.
You joke, but I think you've always been a serious person deep down. You're an intelligent man who's always got his mind on one thing or another. I mean, aside from the way you acted back at the academy.
Oh, the unkindest cut. Completely accurate, but still.
I'm excited to learn everything I can from you, Sylvain. I really am.
Auch ein sehr schöner Support. Will er gleich mal Ash abwerben hier, ha? Aber Ash wird sicherlich auch mal jemand, der ja ganz toll sein Land verteidigen wird, sicherlich. Beziehungsweise dann wahrscheinlich auch den Anspruch eben hat auf das Fürstentum, was Lonato zustand. Ich muss auch sagen hier, Sylvain hat einen fantastischen Eindruck gemacht. Also von den Three Hope Supports, Sylvain wirklich ein Charakter, der enorm profitiert hat. Ganz toll. Ich mochte Sylvain eigentlich schon immer ganz gerne, muss ich sagen. Aber er ist halt gerade vor allem am Spielanfang der Akademie in Three House ist halt wirklich immer mit dem gleichen Trope bewandert. Schürzenjäger halt, und darauf wird er dann ziemlich reduziert, was schade ist. Hier ist er deutlich interessanter gestaltet. Ein kreativer Kopf, der sich für viele Leute einsetzt, selbst Forschung betreibt und so weiter. Der sich wirklich reinhängt, muss man sagen. Kommt hier ganz anders rüber in dem Spiel, aber ich mag das. Gefällt mir wirklich gut. So, jetzt haben wir hier noch Ash, und der hat tatsächlich auch nochmal 2 Supports. Also ihr seht schon, wir haben echt viel, aber dann sind wir mit den Löwen tatsächlich auch durch. Alles, was komplett Löwen-exklusiv ist.
We lost him. Split up and search, boys. Don't let him get away.
They really are a persistent pack of scoundrels.
Someone shot me!
Yuri, over here! Oh, I think we're good. They won't chase us this far. Looks like I was just in time. Are you hurt?
So long as my face is fine, the rest of me doesn't matter. That's the real moneymaker, you know. And I appreciate the save, by the way.
You never change. Anyway, care to tell me why those thugs were after you?
Oh, just a little disagreement among businessmen. Happens all the time.
This is exactly why I said you had to find a different way to make money.
If you're going to lecture me, I'd prefer the arrow you gave my friend back there. Also, if you disagree with my methods, why save me in the first place? You could have left me to reap the consequences of my actions and had one less villain in the world.
I'm not lecturing you because I think you're a villain. I've no right to call you evil anyway. I just don't want to see you endanger yourself.
Sometimes the only way to get anything done is by putting yourself in harm's way. You should know. Or I suppose you wouldn't. What with your being an upstanding knight and all now.
Trust me, I know. I can't forget the past no matter how hard I try. but I still think what you're doing is wrong. Not only are you hurting other people, you're disregarding your own well-being.
I chose this life of my own accord, and I take pride in what I do. If I get hurt in the process, that's just part of the deal. And if I'm caught and the townspeople hurl stones and fruit as I march to my execution, I'll still die with a smile on my face because...
Okay, enough! This is the reason why I can't keep letting you do this! You want to protect the people important to you, right? Well, I want to make sure you don't end up dead and covered in rotting fruit! So if you still insist on being a reckless fool, I'm going to protect you anyway!
Even though it means siding with a filthy villain?
I'm not about to help you commit crimes. And if it looks like you're going to hurt someone, I'll do everything in my power to stop you. I just want to save my friend, okay?
I truly don't get you sometimes. Also, can't believe I'm going to fall for a cornball line like that.
Did you say something, Yuri?
Nothing. Forget it.
Spannend. Wenn Ash mal so ernst drauf ist, dann aber so richtig, ha? Dann lässt das krachen. Finde ich immer stark. Dann hat er so einen richtigen emotionalen Ausbruch. Aber auch sehr passend, ne? Einen sehr starken Gerechtigkeitssinn. Ash ist ein toller Charakter. Auf jeden Fall.
Mess hall food is just the best!
You're really piling up the plates there, Raphael. You must have been extra hungry.
Yeah, I was just out exercising. Food always tastes best after a long workout.
You should tell the chefs how much you enjoyed it. I'm sure they'd be pleased.
Will do. You know, I opened an inn myself, and I've been doing the cooking there. Except, I've never gotten a compliment from a customer. Not even once.
So they didn't like it? I wonder why.
I guess it just didn't taste very good. Honestly, I don't know a whole lot about cooking, so I had a pretty rough time in the kitchen.
In that case, why don't we work on it together? You may not have as many chances to cook here, but I bet we can still find opportunities to hone your skills. Believe me, one of the best feelings in the world is having someone tell you they enjoyed a meal you created.
Hold on. You're gonna train me? You're the best, Ash!
We'll get started right away. First, let's see you make something so I can get a feel for your skill level.
Well, how's it taste?
Well, it's not bad necessarily, but a huge pile of meat isn't really a meal. It's just meat.
Wait, you want something more than that? To each his own, I guess.
If you're going to focus on one ingredient, you have to work on your seasonings. This just tastes like a slab of bacon wrapped around a salt lick. Also, try using some vegetables for a garnish, if nothing else. A little splash of color will make your dishes more appealing to the eye.
Huh. I never thought about how food looked.
That's something my father always used to say. If flavor is king, appearance is the royal court. He's actually the one who taught me that adding some color with vegetables will make things taste better, too.
Well, I guess I could jam a cucumber in there or something, if you think it'd help.
You can't just jam things in without thinking about it, Raphael. You have to prepare them first, then arrange them in a way that's pleasing to the eye. Every ingredient requires careful preparation in order to bring out its true flavor.
Okay. I think I get it.
For example, try seasoning the meat with some herbs, then boil your vegetables to remove the bitterness. After that, fan them out on the platter and...
Wait, hang on. I boil the bitterness out of the herbs, then blare the season? But which season? Fall? Spring? This is way harder than just throwing a hunk of beef on a plate.
Deep breaths, Raphael. You can do this. And since this whole training thing was my idea, I promise to stick it out to the very end.
Thanks, Ash. With your help, I'm gonna make grub that'll have folks licking their plates.
Oh. Das klingt gefährlich. Aber mal sehen, was dabei rauskommt. Den B-Support haben wir auch schon. Oh weh, oh weh. Ich kann mir gerade Raphael so gut vorstellen, irgendwie so bei Hell's Kitchen oder so. Einfach so klonk, einfach die Keule draufgeschmissen, so. Bisschen Salz noch, das war's. Fertig. Ewige Diskussion, warum das nicht geht. Könnte witzig sein. Aber machen wir weiter.
What's up, Raphael?
There you are, Ash. Here, sit down.
Okay.
Now, eat up.
Hey, this is the dish I was teaching you before. Raphael, did you make this yourself?
I sure did. So grab a shovel and dig in, because it's all yours.
I've got to say, it looks a lot more appetizing than before. Plus, it smells fantastic. All right, let's see what we've got. That was delicious. You used just the right amount of salt, which really brought out the flavor of the herbs.
Hey, you were right. It really does feel great to hear someone say that. I practiced seasoning and putting things on the plate and all that stuff, just like you said. Oh, and I had some of the soldiers do a bit of taste testing for me. It sure was rough at first, but I think I've definitely improved.
You certainly have. I had no idea you were working so hard on this.
That's because I was sneaky. I only wanted you to try it once I knew it was perfect. You worked so hard to teach me. I just had to pay you back somehow.
Raphael, You know my father used to run a restaurant, right? Well, this is the dish he was famous for.
You're not talking about Lord Leonardo, are you?
No, my birth father. He took ill and died a long time ago. I told you what he said about flavor and appearance because he always used to say it to me. And this tastes just like what he used to make. I've tried for years to get the same flavor, but I couldn't do it. Honestly, I never thought I'd taste it again.
Come on. Eating through tears is no way to enjoy a meal. Good food should make you smile, not cry.
Sorry, Raphael. Guess I got lost in the past there for a second. But you're right. Good food should make people smile. And everything tastes even better when you're sharing it with a room full of smiling people.
Wait. In that case... That's it! I'm making a new rule when I get back to the inn. You gotta smile when you eat good food.
That'll be good for the cook and the customers alike.
I knew you'd agree. Eating's supposed to be a celebration. So whenever you get a hankering for my cooking again, just say the word, Ash.
Thanks, Raphael. And I'll be sure to eat it with a smile.
Sieh mal an, Raphael hat sich doch richtig gemacht. Ja, super. Nicht schlecht, habe ich ihn vielleicht ein bisschen unterschätzt, ha? Er hat mir gerade auch sehr aus der Seele gesprochen, muss ich sagen. Finde ich ganz toll. Geht mir ja ganz genauso immer. Ja, leidenschaftlicher Koch, muss ich sagen. Also, ich koche unglaublich gern. Ich backe auch immer ganz, ganz viel und das ist für mich auch immer das große Highlight. Wenn dann alle happy sind, ne? Ich meine, mit gutem Essen kannst du ganz schnell für eine gute Stimmung auch sorgen. Es funktioniert einfach immer wieder wunderbar. Ist einfach fantastisch. Wir können weitermachen. Auch schon wieder Raphael, witzigerweise, okay. Diesmal mit Felix. Auch Felix letzter Support dann. Alles klar. Na gut. Let's go.
Hey, Felix! Wanna go work out?
Quiet! You'll give away my position.
Oops. Sorry. Didn't realize you were hunting. I'll just back off and, Whoa. Look at that! I've never seen a boar that big. If we take it down, we'll eat like kings! Kings, I tell you!
Hang on. You don't just rush into a fight against a beast like that. You need the proper equipment.
Ah, don't worry. Petra taught me a special technique. Now lead the way, meat buddy!
All right, fine. Anyway, as I was saying, if we aren't adequately prepared, we'll be the ones who end up as someone's dinner. Boars are naturally cautious beasts, but this one also appears to be wounded. If it spots us, it'll charge and send us to an early grave.
Wait, have you fought one of these before?
Years ago, but yes. It managed to get away, though.
Wow! It must have been one heck of a beast if even you had trouble taking it down.
House Blathid and House Fraldarius used to go on hunting trips together. On one trip, a certain prince bagged so many animals it proved impossible to fit them all on the sled. Meanwhile, I went off hunting on my own, encountered the boar, and barely escaped with my life.
Wait, why would Dimitri want to kill you? Or do you mean like an actual boar?
While this may not be the same boar, I will get no small amount of satisfaction if we manage to bring it down.
Hold on, who are we talking about here? Whatever. Let's do this thing!
I'll share the spoils with you, but the kill is mine. Now stand back.
Wait, but if you take it on by yourself, won't you just lose again?
What did you say?
Haven't you heard that 2 fists are better than 1? Or, I guess it'd be 4 fists are better than 2.
I'm not confident even that will be enough, but fine. I suppose adding more fists to the mix never hurt anyone. Chersis had spotted us. Nothing for it now. Come on, Raphael.
Come at me, boar. I'll punch you so hard the chef won't even need to tenderize you.
Don't attack it head on, fool! Circle around to the rear!
Yeah! We did it!
I can't believe we took it down so quickly.
Told you this was a 4-fist job!
I guess you did. Maybe there's something to this whole working with friends thing after all.
Aww, you called me your friend. Took you long enough.
Cram it. We need help carrying this back, so let's go find some extra hands.
Felix, wait up!
Okay, na gut, das hätten wir auch. Gut. Witzige Situation, das haben sie geschafft. Genau, du bist ja auch komplett soweit durch mit allen Löwen. Das heißt, wir haben es, Leute. Das waren alle Löwen-Supports. Der Rest sind nur noch andere Häuser, die wir natürlich auch noch mitnehmen werden auf unserer Reise. Aber das sind auch deutlich weniger jetzt noch, die ausstehen auf jeden Fall. Also das wird wahrscheinlich in einer überschaubaren Zeit auch möglich sein. Sehen wir mal, wie viel ich gegebenenfalls hier nochmal offscreen sogar mitnehme. Muss ich nochmal durchgehen, aber ich denke, wir werden beim nächsten Mal jetzt erstmal die Mission hier machen. Jetzt sind wir auf jeden Fall, denke ich, relativ in einem safen Spot. Ich weiß nicht, wie es mit bestimmten Supports anderer Häuser aussieht. Ich glaube, da können schon auch welche verfallen, aber ich glaube, wir sind schon noch an einem Punkt, wo wir noch nicht so die Probleme haben. Ich weiß es halt nicht, ich kann es nicht hundertprozentig einschätzen. Aber gut. Wie auch immer. Ja, also die generelle Supportqualität in Three Hopes ist halt wirklich sehr gut. Aber es ist auch ziemlich zeitaufwendig, die zu farmen. muss man sagen. Gar nicht so einfach, aber naja. Mit viel Geduld schafft man es dann doch irgendwie und letztendlich, ich glaube, es wird ja auch irgendwie im Hauptmenü mit eingetragen. Da gibt es, glaube ich, auch wieder so ein extra Logbuch oder sowas in der Art. Ich weiß nicht. Jedenfalls kann man die, glaube ich, nochmal nachschlagen. Was natürlich dann auch ganz cool ist. Heißt, wir können fleißig sammeln. Irgendwann wird es mal so weit sein, dass ich den Rest von Three Hopes streame. Also die anderen Häuser eben, dass wir die dann so machen. Relativ zügig wahrscheinlich. Eventuell tatsächlich sogar auf niedrigerer Schwierigkeitsgrad einfach durchmetzeln, Story erleben, Supports farmen, fertig. Ungefähr so stelle ich mir das vor. Ja, es wird halt sonst sehr schnell repetitiv, ne? Es ist ein... Für zwischendurch ist es, glaube ich, immer ganz gut. Ein LP hat halt sonst den Anspruch, dass man nochmal recht häufig was macht, ne? Von den Intervallen einfach sehr regelmäßig dran bleibt. Da ist Warriors aber nicht so ideal, hab's aber auch schon ein paar Mal erwähnt hier. Ich glaube, ich brauche das nicht nochmal erwähnen. Wahrscheinlich kommt es im Schlussfazit auch nochmal rein für mich so. Aber ja, lieber mal wieder irgendein cooles Mainline Fire Emblem spielen. Ha? Ich glaube, da warten viele eh schon lange drauf. Und da wird es wirklich mal wieder Zeit, ne? Auf jeden Fall. Aber gut, die Supports sind soweit durch. Ich freue mich jetzt auf das nächste Kapitel. Sehen wir mal, was uns erwartet. Das sah auf jeden Fall so aus, als würde es ein sehr wichtiges Kapitel sein. Wir können noch mal kurz drauf schauen. Da wird es dann weitergehen, ne? Genau. Wir kriegen ein Moralta-Schwert, eine Sariel-Sense, alles ganz cool. Gegner Level 90 ist natürlich heftig, aber ja, wir haben ja nur diese Karte, also scheint auf jeden Fall sehr wichtig zu sein. Das heißt auch Entscheidungskampf. Dementsprechend erwartet man natürlich, dass auch ordentlich was abgeht. Lassen wir uns überraschen. Naja, für viele von euch wird es wahrscheinlich keine Überraschung mehr sein, aber mal sehen. Für mich auf jeden Fall schon. Bis zum nächsten Mal.